Morning, everyone. Or at least it's morning for me. And I wanted to do a little morning video here, almost a reaction take, because I read the news like everybody else. I listen to the news in the morning. I try to find credible places that report and try to act like real journalists and not just opinion pieces all over the place, which we do see a lot of news these days. The problems that we're facing in this country are real, and unfortunately, I don't know if certain people take them seriously enough. And I definitely think that we've become an us them society where we care, some of us at least, more than others about, like, some of us really care more about what our side is doing to the other side instead of where we're going together as a country. And as someone that is an industrial organizational psychologist, I see the problem in that. We are a country. We are tied together. And what affects you affects everybody else down the line. It depends just how insulated you are from that other person as to how much you actually feel that impact. I can say that I honestly don't think most people in this country want to see other people hurt. I honestly don't think most of the people in this country want to see violence happen. What we're seeing is a real incongruency with the social contract that we all have with this country and the leaders and each other. It's tough. And some of the stuff that we're seeing right now, I would definitely describe as unethical and unmoral, or immoral, sorry. It's still morning, right? Um, so, yeah, I can see why people want to protest. I can see why we have such dysfunction, and it's because we're choosing not to address it. We're not holding people accountable to their actions and their words. We're not making sure that this is the best place for everyone. For a while now, we've been making this the best place for a select group of people. And that hurts, because when we define that select group of people, I fit within some of those categories. And as someone who is in those categories, I can tell you that, yes, I have benefited from being a part of those. Um, that's that's fact. That's not a revisionist version of what's going on, and we need to acknowledge that. And an organization, when things go wrong and blame needs to be sorted out, it's important to admit that you've done wrong if you have done wrong. Admit your part. And even if it's just, 9% of the whole that you contributed to, you still contributed. And I think that's important to admit, that not everyone is 100% at fault, but we may all be a little bit at fault. And I'm not here to point fingers as much as I'm here to say we need to fess up. We need to move forward. Because if we choose to not admit, if we choose to say we are going to live in the past, we're going to make the mistakes of the past. And they may even be bigger because we decided to not move forward. It will compound. It will snowball. And yes, I know that sounds like a slippery slope argument, but it's more of a, hey, we've done wrong and we continue to do wrong kind of argument, and that collective feeling of injustice. it's only going to get bigger. So until we decide to start treating the other side like humans instead of the other side or them, we're really not going to move forward as a country. We will regress. We will have problems. And if you're part of not admitting what's going on and you're trying to make excuses, you're also part of the problem. And we want to be part of the solution. I want to be part of the solution. And I hope you do too. But yeah, it's tough hearing all of this in the morning. It brings me down. I know it must bring you down too. Other people I talk with, they're telling me the same thing. It all brings us down. It's very depressing. But because it's depressing doesn't necessarily mean I stop. It doesn't mean that I don't engage. It actually means as we're coming to a choice this year, I will continue to engage, and I will continue to try to move forward and move us forward. And unfortunately, I have a feeling that some of us just don't have it in us to move forward, to accept what's happened. But it's a truth. And truths don't easily go away. They'll show up again. In coaching, we talk about this in the sense of if you've had a problem in the past that you haven't really fixed inside with you, an internal block that's just holding you back, that experience is going to show up again and again as you move forward in life. And so if you have issues with authority, if you have been hurt by somebody in the past in a certain way, if you don't resolve how you deal with personalities that you have a tough time with, or the opinions and beliefs that have held you back, you're doomed to do it again. And this is the same thing with the history of this country. If we don't admit, if we don't try to move forward, we're doomed to repeat. And if you need a lesson of that, there are at least 2 museums a stone's throw away from here, where I'm at in Maryland, where you can learn about what we've done to both indigenous peoples and peoples that we have brought here for their own subjugation. We have another museum that talks about what happens when somebody tries to take over power completely and subjugate people based upon a religion or race. And this is a scary time. But it's scary because people don't see that. People don't see what's going on, and they don't want to admit to themselves. So I'm sorry, this is a little bit more of a rant. It's not really fully thought out, but I think you guys get my point, so I'm going to go ahead and digress. I do hope that you stay active, you stay engaged with what's going on, and keep your head up as much as possible. It's tough, but you know what? We're resilient. We can get through this. We can move forward as long as you keep acting. All right. Have a great rest of the week, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.